This is your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, March the 27th, Easter Sunday. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. Weather map this morning features kind of an unsettled weather pattern across the southeastern U.S. This particular map from HPC is not drawing in a front along the Gulf Coast, but there is an old stationary front down along that area, kind of paralleling I-10. And we also have a cold front approaching from the west-northwest that will be changing our weather and keeping us somewhat wet for this Easter Sunday. The upper air pattern features a trough over the central part of the country that will be swinging by very quickly. It'll go from its current position all the way up to New York by midday on Monday. Temperatures kind of mild this morning across the southeastern United States, especially across central Alabama. We've got readings generally ranging from the upper 50s to the middle 60s across the area. And we do have a good cloud cover over the area, unlike yesterday where Alabama was dissected with sunny skies in one part and cloudy skies in another. We do have a bit of some showers moving through central Alabama this morning, and there's some thunder with those, but the old frontal boundary along the Gulf Coast is clearly visible with lots of rain all the way from west of New Orleans all the way over to Tallahassee. And the QPF is pretty much telling a story. We're expecting over the next 5 days, this is through 12Z, that would be 7 a.m. on Friday morning. We're expecting on the order of 2 to nearly 4 inches of rain across central and north Alabama. It looks like since it's going to come in 2 rounds that flash flooding is probably not going to be a concern, but we'll always have to be, watchful of that. But it could be by the second round into Thursday and early Friday that we may begin to see some river flooding. Storm Prediction Center is outlooking a slight risk a little further north. Yesterday we were showing that there was probably some reasons for it to be shifting further north, but over western Kentucky, parts of Illinois, Indiana, and the extreme western sections of Ohio, and that's surrounded by a marginal risk that barely touches the northwest corner of Alabama. For day 2, there's a marginal risk over South Florida. Day 2 would be Monday into Tuesday. Day 3 is Tuesday into Wednesday, and that shows over the lower Mississippi River Valley and up in the central U.S. And then on day 4, which would be Wednesday into Thursday, we have a large area outlooked from Louisiana and East Texas all the way up to Iowa. All right, let's take a look at the GFS model run this morning, and this is the 06Z run, and there comes our nice trough that will be zipping by very quickly. But in the meantime, we have nice southerly flow, a little bit of a sort of a wedge pattern over the southeastern U.S., but we're not seeing the really chilly temperatures that are often accompany a wedge pattern. And for interests of severe weather, you can see that the Cape values really are moved up into the Ohio River Valley from the lower Mississippi River Valley extending up into the Ohio River Valley. That will change over the next several hours and into the nighttime hours tonight with the Cape values dropping off. By Monday, that trough, as I said, makes it up to New York, and we begin to come under ridging, so it looks like we should see the rain ending this evening and into very early hours of Monday morning. And as high pressure settles in, we should cool off a little bit. So for Monday, look for temperatures in the way of highs to be in the upper 60s. We stay under the ridge Tuesday, and a good day Tuesday, another good day on Wednesday, but that's when things begin to change on Wednesday into Thursday. We see that deep trough on Wednesday that is out over the Rockies, coming out of the southern Rockies, and by Thursday it has moved out to the Great Lakes. And it's pretty far north, so it looks like a lot of the dynamics with this system are going to be pretty far north, but it does bring a cold front down through our area during the day on Thursday. You can see the surface low there just north of the Great Lakes in extreme southern Canada, and the cold front stretching down into Alabama. Now, looking at the potential for severe weather, we do have some pretty good Cape values. Now, again, the dynamics are all to the north and pretty far north. Excuse me. But the Cape values do come up pretty well, reaching values probably in the range of about 1,400 to 2,000 joules per kilogram. But when we look at shear, the shear is definitely not here. It's very weak. So it looks like the main threat for any severe weather with this system may be quite a bit further north. But as we always say, and especially when you look at the calendar, it's March and getting close to April. This is beginning to reach the peak of our severe weather season, so we want to be very cautious about this. The pattern continues to evolve on Friday as we're going to get into a much cooler pattern. By Friday, we're seeing this long wave trough position develop over the eastern part of the country as another short wave trough dives into the bottom of this thing, and that will help to settle the high pressure in over Kansas, Nebraska, and South Dakota, and that gives us a pretty good northerly fetch. So that looks like that will definitely cool us down as we head into the weekend. And then you can see that the long wave trough is over the eastern half of the country on Saturday. So it looks like by Saturday we should be seeing morning lows primarily in the 40s, but we can't rule out the possibility of some upper 30s for some locations. And then, of course, the afternoon highs in the 60s. So having had this period of the 70s, that will feel very nice. Now, getting out to Sunday, we're verging on the voodoo country, but you can see that we do have that long wave trough position. And so we're going to stay somewhat cool for the whole weekend. Going out into voodoo country, we have another system that approaches around the 6th, 7th of April, more like the 7th. But that one, just like the one that we're going to be dealing with this coming Wednesday, Thursday time frame, is pretty far north. So once again, looks like the severe weather threat might not be down in this area. But around the 9th, 10th, the GFS is suggesting a pretty strong closed low coming across the central Appalachians there, and that one could spell some serious weather for us. But again, no specifics, just looking for trends as we're looking out into voodoo country. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video for this edition. James Spann will be back with the next edition first thing on Monday morning. In the meantime, stay tuned to the blog for notes on Alabama's weather. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a good day and Godspeed.